I pray that they have forgotten, but I know them better than that. I live in fear. Hey, what's up everybody, DnDGreentext here, Jesus Christ, and welcome to another DnDGreentext video. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into today's video, I just want to quickly kind of remind you to consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because the majority of people watching aren't, and it only takes a moment, and you can undo it later if you want. And yeah, so thanks so much for that, and with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. The Uno reverse card. Run a game for a delightfully creative team of players. Don't even plan out plots most of the time. Just give them an environment and weird tools and see what will happen to them. Once, I give them a magical item that's essentially an Uno reverse card. First time, they use it in practice, when they've been surrounded by highwaymen. Well, now cut your throats and take all your tools and reaches. One of them hands them the Uno reverse card, and the leader of the bandits looks at it like, well, all of the bandits cut their own throats and the party takes all of their tools and reaches, including the reverse card. The players have leveled up and they are fighting bigger foes and there's more complicated storylines. I just remembered that one of them still has the reverse card stashed away somewhere. I pray that they have forgotten, but I know them better than that. I live in fear. Jesus Christ, yeah, no way they have forgotten, no way such a good group of creative players has forgotten about an item that's, you know, this level of important and broken really. I smoked the plot device because I am immature and I got high. Bimmy, elven beastmaster who loves tobacco. DM introduces a pot of magic juice that, me knowing my DM, will obviously make us have visions of the future when we drink it. I have a devious plan because I am mentally a child. My character dips his tobacco in the juice, dries it and smokes it. Starts tripping balls and getting visions of the future. Passes the pipe to the 50-year-old elven child like Joe Rogan while saying, "This is some good shit. You need to try this." My face when the party gets so high off of tobacco that they start seeing visions of their future selves. He's just content in heaven. Known undead to paladins. Bimmy, 11th level homebrew lich. Just came out of a teleporter into the city. Get magically pulled outside. It's a group of paladins. Uh-oh. Try to talk them down, but it doesn't work. We'll do it live. Short fight later, which only took 2 turns, and the paladins are surrendering after realizing that they are horribly outgunned and one of them, a cleric, gets OTK'd by our fighter alone. The party decides to let the paladins surrender, much to my chagrin. I send a private message to the dungeon master that I want to subtly absorb the soul of the dead cleric and roleplay it as a grudge against paladins as they killed parents that were necromancers. The paladins try to bring the dead cleric back to life. The dungeon master, did you read my DM? I hear the dungeon master laughing over Discord. The entire party, out of character, realizes immediately what I've done. "Why isn't he coming back to life?" asks the cleric. "He must be content in heaven with your god." Deception 28. The entire party goes wild. And thus is the story of how the lich eats the soul of a cleric in front of other clerics and paladins and gets away with it. I am very concerned. Bimmy, it's the 3rd time that I'm playing with this dungeon master. Both times before this one, the characters that I put in my character's backstory ended up dead or worse. It only happened in the epilogue for one campaign, and that was due to there being a war that the party caused, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Bimmy, in the current campaign, as a bard. I thought that it would be funny to play a bard in a dedicated relationship, so I give him a fiancé in his backstory. I'm out on an expedition to help pay for our future wedding, meaning I'll likely never interact with her in the actual campaign. That's fine with me, cause I mostly just wanted to paint him as a family man, with him still sending funds back to them. While exploring, we get our hands on some purple worm poison that was already blooded when we first encountered it, which is worth about 2,000 gold pieces. I want to send this small fortune back to my family. I would barely get 1,000 gold pieces if I sold it in the camp, due to the lack of gold reserves. I decide to send it back home where it can be sold for much more. I place the vial in a box full of hay to keep the vial from breaking. I attach a letter to the box, explaining its contents and asking it to be handled carefully. For good measure, I slap a fragile and a hazardous material, beware of any liquid leaking from the box, stickers on the side. If the next letter that I receive is about how my fiancé died from poisoning, I might just retire the character then and there. Yeah, I don't know, at that point you might want to consider retiring from that DM as well. One-shotting the big bad evil guy. Be me. Hexblade Warlock trying to stop a dark prophet from sacrificing a bunch of souls to her dark god, yada yada. Others aren't important in this case, except for the paladin that can cast haste. We are facing the big bad evil guy with her 4 werewolves. I sneak behind her with invisibility. I cast Banishing Smite. I hit twice and use Cursebringer Invocation to add another 10d8. I deal 2d10 plus 14 plus 10d10 plus 10d8, and that adds up to 119 damage. The DM is silent. She only had 90 hit points, says the DM. My face when I killed the big bad evil girl before she was supposed to die. There's no escape. Be me, DM. Be not me. Level 17 party, with a human wizard, a human monk 6 rogue 11 and a tiefling warlock. The party gets a fetch quest from the big bad evil girl, a story in itself for another time, to go get this item from the lair of a red dragon. Oh, this is gonna hurt, that PNG. Party travels to the location and finds a group of giants assaulting the lair of the dragon with an army of goblinoids. Well, just got complicated, that MP4. The party sneaks into the camp and attempts to parley with the giants. The giants laugh, because small folk are no match for a dragon, and the goblinoids are just to take care of the kobolds protecting the lair. The warlock is offended by this. We could whoop your asses. 3v3 right now. What do we have to lose, that X? The giants lose. The party demands their belt of storm giant strength as well as their help defeating the dragon. These terms are agreeable, that text. The next day, we enter the dragon's lair with goblins that are taking care of the kobolds and find the dragon about 2000 feet underground in a 1000 by 1000 by 500 feet cavern. Roll initiative. The dragon loses. Badly. He gets bottom of initiative. The storm giant uses lightning strike and all the others dash in to close the gap. The dragon flies 160 feet straight at the party. Maybe this wasn't the best idea, that move. The storm giant gets a lightning strike recharge and uses it again. Everyone dashes again. The dragon flies 80 feet and it's breath weapon time. No one saves. Roll damage. It's 112 fire damage. The wizard is fire resistant though. The storm giant gets lightning strike again. The fire and stone giants start flinging boulders. The monk shadow steps onto the dragon's back, does a sneak attack and deals 65 damage. The wizard and warlock do some vanilla damage spells. It's the dragon's turn. Get off of me, that duo barrel roll, that SVG. DC 25 dex save and the monk makes it. A few rounds go by with mostly vanilla damage spells and melee and ranged attacks. The monk gets grappled by the dragon and the dragon has breath weapon recharged. At AVI. Full force of breath weapon to the face and auto-fail due to being grappled. 96 damage. A few more rounds go by and the dragon has been taken down to 40% health, with the party all low on health and 2 giants making death saves. Time to go, that FLV. Dragon starts to fly away. The wizard teleports himself and the stone giant onto the back of the dragon. The stone giant grapples the dragon, falls 200 feet to the ground, and the wizard and stone giant drop to 0 from the fall damage. The dragon is now at 30% health. 2 rounds later, and the dragon is attempted to escape again with 54 health points after starting a volcanic eruption. Also, he's blind from the Celestial Warlock's revive ability. Monk. I ready the attack action for when the dragon gets within range of me. What? He's 250 feet in the air flying towards the exit. Stupid monk. It's the wizard's turn. He casts Dimension Door and teleports himself and the monk to right above the dragon. This won't be good, that wav. The monk attacks the dragon for 66 damage. The monk and the wizard fall to the ground, and the wizard drops to 0 again. Monk takes no damage. Well, that's ODP. The celestial warlock hands out heals for the downed party members, loots the lair, and teleports out as the volcano collapses in on itself as it erupts. Okay, most of that was insane from the side of the party. But the ending was absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm just imagining it, it's basically like a scene. It's basically like a scene from just taken straight out of a movie. How the level 4 sorcerer took out a whole encounter. Be me, DM running 5th edition. Be not me, tiefling divine soul sorcerer, human blood hunter, and the half-elf shadow sorcerer with homebrew stuff. The party is camping out for the night on the way to a quest. The shadow sorcerer is keeping watch and gets warned by a mysterious raven that an enemy camp is approaching. Gets shot with an arrow soon after. The others wake up and see a goblin hiding in a bush. The blood hunter shoots it with a crossbow and kills it. A bugbear comes roaring out of the bushes and it's angered that it killed its friend. The divine soul sorcerer casts burning hands at 2nd level. My face when they crit, they roll max damage and they use empowered spell. Destroys the bugbear and the band of goblins and monsters behind it. The divine soul goes back to sleep. Jesus Christ, okay, yeah, that sorcerer just had a Giga Chat moment right then and there. Jesus Christ, man. Task failed successfully. Be me, DM. Be not me, the party. Create a puzzle involving a sundial and a series of symbols on the floor. Goal of the puzzle is to cast the sundial's shadow on a specific symbol. One player has a camera, because we're in a pseudo-modern setting, and he takes a picture of the sundial. I ask him where he's standing, and he just so happens to be in the perfect spot for the flash to cause the sundial's shadow to land on the proper symbol. They haven't even investigated the symbols yet. But I decide it's too perfect of a moment to pass it up, and I describe the staircase descending from the ceiling and up to the next area. My only regret is not putting something spooky in the photo when it developed. Ah, that's amazing, just solving the puzzle without even trying. That's basically like rolling a natural 20 in real life and just having something good happening for no reason. I made a one-shot food dungeon that just grew into more. At the time, all of my Dungeons & Dragons buddies were in the restaurant industry. I made jelly oozes, peanut butter slimes, bread golems, charcuterie phantasms, and the like. If they wanted to melee attack the peanut butter, they'd get stuck. Butter elementals were too slippery and only responded to slashing or fire. Larden golems would burn, but at reduced damage. Hostile vegetation for herbs and veggies. Herbs were like kobolds to a dragon of spinach. What? Bonus combos to kill ingredients together. A player asked if he could spatula flip an enemy while in a rage. He was an orc chef, and chefs always can rage as a free action. Ah, that's so good. From how little I know about the food industry, that seems extremely accurate to me. Usually, this was for flat top type enemies like melts, burgers, and hash browns. But with a 20, you bet your ass that I let him roll to spatula flip his enemy, a 2-ton baguette elemental prone. This is some top quality homebrew content right here. Alright, on that note, that's gonna be it for today's video, so thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Also, thank you a lot to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, as well as here on YouTube as a member. I appreciate it a lot, so thanks so much for the support there. Links below if you wanna check those out, as well as links to the social media, Discord server, Sorcerer, anything else. And yeah, that's it, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!